Red Storm playing host to the Marquette Golden Eagles here tonight at Belson Stadium. Two teams looking for a big midseason win. Looking at the Big East standings through 3 matches for both sides, and Georgetown is well at the top at 4-0, including a win picked up earlier today. And you look at the two teams in tonight's matchup towards the bottom, 8th St. John's with 3 points, and 9th Marquette with just 1 point so far on the season. Two teams that are really looking for 3 points here tonight. Hi everyone, and once again welcome to Belson Stadium. Drew Casey here with you, looking forward to tonight's matchup that features 2 contrasting styles. St. John's looking to go with the speed, and Marquette looking to use their physical identity. That's been the key under Marcus Roders throughout the course of his career. Let's take a look at our players to watch, and we go between the pipes for both sides, for both St. John's and Marquette. The goalkeeper for St. John's, making her 3rd consecutive start, is Meredith Reinhart, and Reinhart inserted into the starting lineup exactly a week ago against Seton Hall and picked up a shutout victory. And then this past Sunday, although it was a 2-0 loss for the Red Storm, Reinhart made 8 saves on the road at DePaul. For that performance, Reinhart was named to the Big East Weekly Honor Roll. As for Marquette, the senior goalkeeper is Maddie Henry, and she has just been a fixture in the Golden Eagles cage since she stepped on campus more than 3 years ago. Henry, the all-time saves leader in Marquette women's soccer history, and has 21 shutouts in her career, the first of which in Big East competition was on this very field during her freshman season. Coming off a performance, 7 saves in Sunday's 1-1 tie against Creighton. It's a mid-October showdown on a windy Thursday night in Queens. It's St. John's and Marquette, and it's all next on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You're not going to want to miss this.
Just about set to get underway with match number 4 of Big East Conference play for St. John's and Marquette. Let's take a look at our keys to the game first. For the St. John's Red Storm playing here at home, the speed is going to be key. The second half also going to be key. St. John's has struggled in the second half immensely. They've been outscored 11-2 in the second half. That speed maybe in the first half. And while the weather conditions expected to be rainy, but no rain in the forecast, just wind here in the forecast today, and it is quite windy. Gusts up to 25 miles per hour could affect St. John's more than it would Marquette. Speaking of the Golden Eagles, let's take a look at the keys for Marquette, coming in 3-8-1 and 0-2-1 in conference play to this point. It's essentially just the opposite. Not speed, but strength for this Golden Eagles side. That's the identity of Marcus Roders and company in his 24th season. And Marquette has struggled in the first half on the season to this point, being outscored 8-1 in the first 45. And again, it's the weather. How is the wind going to be handled? We'll have to see as Marquette and St. John's get set to go in this matchup. A critical 3 points perhaps on the line, and both teams, while maybe it's not spoken by the respective coaches, this really is a big-time 3 points on the line for both teams. St. John's in the home whites with the red numbers and letters. You see Meredith Reinhart in there, player we just spoke of in the open. Reinhart making her third consecutive start in Big East Conference play. The redshirt junior with much experience and enjoying her first Big East Weekly Honor Roll nod earlier this week. 5 in white, that's Jani Kajan, the most prolific scorer on the team in this match, and perhaps in the conference, 17 career goals, including 4 this season. Just about set to get underway. Marquette in the visiting Navy base with the yellow trim. Snazzy for the Golden Eagles. They'll play Seton Hall next on this East Coast tri-state area swing in the Big East Conference. 45 minutes on the first half clock, and we are set to go with the Red Storm, beginning with possession right to left on your screens. Marquette will go left to right. Thanks for being with us on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. However you're watching, whether that be Twitter, Caffeine, or YouTube on this fine Thursday night. Red Storm 4-8-0 overall, 1-2-0. Marquette 3-8-1, 0-2-1 on the season to this point. Speaking with Marcus Roders prior to tonight's game, first foul will be called and it will go in favor of Marquette. This field has really done well for Marquette. They've dominated the all-time series between these two teams. They've only lost once, 14-1-1. The one loss, though, was here at Belson Stadium 7 years ago. Free kick here, and the wind could be a factor. Both coaches saying set pieces could be affected. Both teams setting up towards the top of the 18, sent in here towards the 6, and nobody racing except the keeper in yellow for the Johnnies, Reinhart, who can scoop it up and control. Last time out for St. John's, Sunday at DePaul, 2-0 loss. Blue Demons picking up the victory, near turnover. A back line that looks a little different for St. John's as Samantha Gordon is out with an injury. Injured herself earlier in the week in practice, but just in the nick of time, Sierra Granada has come back from injury. Concussion sustained just a couple of matches ago. She's back in there, 7 in the white and red. This is McBeath, one of 3 senior captains. Now Madden along the near touchline, but she was over at first, and the Golden Eagles will have an early throw. Kelderman, very young team this Golden Eagle side, gets by. It's taken away by McCracken. That's one of the other 3 captains, those orange armbands on the right arm for the 3 captains for the hometown Johnnies. On what is certainly a blustery day. It was beautiful earlier, 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon in the tri-state, about 75 and sunny, perfect for mid-October. Through ball here, flicked towards the top of the 18 where it can be cleared away. Kajan, this pass ahead, an onside play for Madden. Kajan joining the race. Hornsey far side to the right. Madden on ball, looking to get by Kelderman. Taken down. The ball trickles out, and we'll have a goal kick. Mentioned 75 degrees earlier. Well, the temperature has dropped into the mid-60s, and we expect to be in the high 50s by the time this one is done. However, there was some rain in the forecast. We got a little bit around 5 for just a few minutes. Much better conditions in terms of the precipitation a week ago here at Belson Stadium. Missed all evening long. Through ball for Kajan. He's going to get through everyone for a goal kick. Maddie Henry there, just the 1 numeral of 0. The backup keeper, Mel McNamara, has the 00. And Henry has been in the starting lineup since she got till Milwaukee 21 career shutouts and a career record of 32, 33, and 7. Over 70 decisions. Trying to feed Kajan. That was from McCracken, but right back to Maddie Henry. 4th season as a starter, also already the all-time saves leader at Marquette. Now over 330 of those throughout the course of her career. Last season, just the first season below 500 for Marcus Roters, and certainly has been around the block. This is his 24th, his first 22 seasons at least matching 500. A season ago, 4-11-3, very young and still young this year. And off to a tough 3-8-1 start and an 0-2-1 beginning in the conference. Free kick just in front of their own bench for the Golden Eagles. There are a couple of water bottles. Allow this run to be made. Looks like Kelderman will take. Right foot sent in. Looking for a head. It finds a head of the Johnnies and more. Intended for Abby Hess. Abby and Emily Hess on this Marquette team. No relation. Illinois v. Minnesota. And 2 years apart in their eligibility. This is Hornsey for St. John's, playing with that brace on the left leg. Now some space. Through ball here for Kajan. Onside play. Kajan sends in a shot, and it's into the back of the net. Just like that, the Johnnies are on the board. It took less than 6 minutes. And who would you expect other than Johnny Kajan? Her 5th of the season, 18th of her career. St. John's up 1-0 early on here in Queens. We take another look. Kajan just flicks over. Henry comes out to challenge. Had some space and just ticked it over. Henry, the 5'8" senior keeper from Omaha. And a quick start, the start that the Red Storm wanted here on Alumni Day, with many former players in attendance. And a game in which both teams in need of a couple of points. They'd like it to be 3 with a victory. Here's Madden. She gets pushed off the play by Bombasino. And a foul call and a free kick for the Johnnies. About 35 yards out or so from cage. Madden taken down. They'll be set up. Break out the magic foam spray to indicate the 10 yards. Madden, who was fouled, will take the free kick. 6 Red Storm players at the top of the 18. Sends in one hop to Henry, and nobody could get there. Mazer was making a run. The goal now being announced inside Belson Stadium. Kajan gets the goal, and Addison Hornsey picks up the assist, her first assist of her redshirt freshman season, and thus her first career assist. And Madden, a secondary helper, also her first career assist here for the Red Storm. So a lot of players helping out for the first time on the score sheet. And Kajan, her 5th and 18th of the campaign. Heads into the Marquette bench. Golden Eagles have not had much pressure just yet offensively, as we're 8 minutes into the contest. Just the one shot to this point, and it's been the goal for the Red Storm and Johnny Kajan in the 6th minute. Kraken thinks about backing it up to McBeath, but keeps herself. Gives for money. That left lower leg braced. Here's Hornsey. An assist already today. Kajan. Our moment ago, flicks in, top of the 18, and wedged off was Madden there by the Golden Eagle defense, indicating she wanted a push call, went back pushing towards the bench and looking at her on-field referee. This one sent ahead, and the Golden Eagles can control. Bombasino working on money, gives it up. Space for Natalie Yass, the graduate midfielder and Northern Illinois transfer. It's her first year with Marquette. Yass with 2 goals in an exhibition game prior to the start of the regular season. Nice ball here for Kelderman. Can control momentarily. Can hear that wind. Winds in the teens and 20s and gusting to 25 to 30 here tonight in Jamaica. Quiet first few minutes for Meredith Reinhart defensively, but if you're just joining us, the Red Storm getting on the board early. Johnny Kajan in the 6th minute on a combination feed. Madden and Hornsey each grabbing assists. This is Madden, gets through and gets by Kelderman. Madden still running, wedged off, and a clean play cleared by Bonnie Lacey. Bombasino now for McCracken. Backs it up for Shannon Moore, who only played 1 game last season for the Red Storm, and she started now all 13 for the Red Storm this season. Looking for Mazer, controlled. And further along the back line, the first time we've called the name of Sierra Granada, who returns after concussion. Missing the last 3, a bit more than a week of an absence, which equals the entire portion of the first third of the Big East season. 10 teams, everyone plays each other once, so a 9-match conference season. St. John's is 1-2, 3 points in the table, and Marquette is off to an 0-2-1 start, 1 point in the table to this point. Sprecher moving ahead, looking for Hess, and getting a foot in the way and deflecting it away was Avisa. Isabel Avisa. See her right there. She'll take up the field right to left. The freshman from Medway, Massachusetts. Mazer for Kajan. Bombasino takes away. Now Yass. Pointing out instructions back to Bombasino. Middle third now to the attacking third for the Golden Eagles. Looking for the early equalizer. Kelderman here. And Yass again. A Marquette team that was picked to finish 8th of 10 in the Big East this season. St. John's team that was picked to finish tied for 6th. Long ball on goal opportunity. Here's Monticello, and it gets partially deflected. May have mishit it. And a break for the Red Storm. First time we've called Monticello's name, and she nearly found herself with great room to shoot, but was closed off quickly and didn't get all of it. The junior from Chicago. Short drive up, take another look. Monticello controls and just couldn't get control of the hop quickly enough before the Red Storm defense closed. First shot so far for Marquette. Both teams have just one. Foul call there against the Red Storm, and it appeared to be Kajan. Hornsey there, who has one of the assists on the goal so far. Kajan scoring in the 6th already, nearly a third of the way through this first 45. Yeager making a run, and this one will fly out over the far touchline. Bree Yeager, the graduate student from Cedarburg, Wisconsin, led the team in minutes last year, playing over 1,600. And she started every match this season and has well over already 1,100 minutes. Ian Stone looks on with his team with a 1-0 victory. Coach Stone in his 26th season. Compared on the other sideline, well, usually it's much, much more experience for the Red Storm head man. But Marcus Roders for the Marquette team has been the head coach for 24 seasons, a combined 50 years of women's soccer head coaching experience in this league at their respective schools. And both coaches with more than 240 wins each over their careers. Much respect between the two. And it is a series that Coach Roders and Marquette have dominated. 14-1-1 all time against the Red Storm. Speaking of 14s, Kelderman, 14 for the Golden Eagles, has it taken away. As the game settles a bit after that 6th-minute goal. Just a shot for both sides. A mishit shot by Marquette and a well-placed shot by the Red Storm. Jani Kajan scoring in the 6th minute, her 5th of the season, 18th of her career. And controlled by McBeath. Now Money. Here's Aviza. Now Madden, trying to keep near the near touchline and is unable to do so. And Kelderman tosses in. Stop and start, and Madden runs through 2. Still stays on her feet. Kajan. Through ball for Madden. It's an onside play, and it gets loose, and falling on top and grabbing it and securing is Maddie Henry. A couple of the Marquette defensive players looked to the line to see if it was an offside play. They looked in the wrong direction where that flag was. Alex Madden trying to make it an early 2-0 and a big-time run. She'll catch her breath as we return to the middle third. Take another look. Kajan through. Madden, in fact, didn't make contact, was trying to gain an advantage with space and was closed off nicely. Gas continues this one through. Wetherell. Katrina Wetherall. All-conference preseason player. Scored against Creighton. Back on Sunday, the tying goal in what ended up as a 1-1 draw in Milwaukee. This is Lacey. Bonnie Lacey. Wetherell again. Haven't called her name much in the first 15. Nearly had some space. Kelderman for Yass. Stopping and looking for space. Sends it down the near touchline. Stays in play. We're back with you in Queens. A quick technical interruption. Glad you're back with us. St. John's leading Marquette 1-0 at this point. Over the last 90 seconds, neither team able to issue a shot on goal. A near corner kick for Marquette, but it was held off, and the Golden Eagles looking for the equalizer as well. Drew Casey, KJ Hammond and company leading the way in the truck, and the Red Storm still clinging to that 1-0 lead on the 6th minute goal from Johnny Kajan. Assists coming from Alex Madden and Addison Hornsey on the play. First assists for both players. There's Kajan, number 5, picking up her 5th goal of the season. That is more than half complete at this point. In fact, it's 2/3 complete overall. 6 matches remain, and both teams have played 12 to this point. But they're the 6 that count. 6 of the 9 conference games. A big 3 points on the line tonight. Here's Kylie Sprecher towards the corner flag. Partially knocked away by Avisa. And this one towards the corner flag. And it looks like we will have a throw-in for Marquette, although the flag was pointed in the direction of St. John's. It's now corrected. It'll be a throw-in all the way down in that corner, essentially right on the corner flag. Alex Madden defending. I haven't seen a substitution just yet. Nearly halfway done with the first half. Top of the 18 waiting and looking to clear. McCracken getting a little too cute. There's some space inside for Hess. Sends it in on goal, and Reinhart is able to keep it out. Kraken held the possession a bit and backtracked towards goal and nearly resulted in the equalizing goal for Marquette. Take another look here. Inside, half bicycle, and Reinhart able to grab it on the flick. Looks like we'll have a couple of substitutions here. Alex Madden will take a seat, and on comes Kayla Massaros. Annie Wysong into the match, coming on for Madden as opposed to Massaro. So it is Wysong onto the pitch here in the 24th minute. 1-0 St. John. Massaros also on. Coming on just a moment before. She's on the near touch line. One sent further ahead for Kajan. Massaros making a middle of the field run, but Kajan unable to get through, double teamed by Sprecher and Lacey. Coach Stone saying she's had to become a distributor this season. Kajan, because of all the numbers, sent her way. Through ball here, here's an opportunity. Hess moving in, stops top of the 18. The Red Storm defensively recover. This one sent long distance and just high from Katrina Wetherill. Wetherill nearly tied the score. And if she was able to do so, it would have been for the second time in as many games. Just high. And a line change comes on for Marquette. Looks like 3, possibly 4 substitutions coming onto the field. 3 for now. Alex Campana, Mary Kate Simon, and Macy Schock all coming on. So that shot for Marquette, their third. The only shot for St. John's is the only goal so far to this point. And Marquette getting getting those fresh legs up front. Perhaps seeing an opportunity. They have controlled the play over the course of the last few minutes. Campana, first time we've called her name just off the bench, the freshman. Has that one knocked away by Avisa. And it will stay with the Golden Eagles, who are buzzing. They'll stop play for a couple of more substitutions, one for both sides. Rachel Johnson comes on for Marquette. And Jessica Garziano comes on for St. John's. Rachel Johnson quickly touching the ball to restart play. And now this one taken away by Mazer. Samantha Mazer. Further ahead now Granada. Right to Kajan. Just threw ball here for Garziano. Garziano, the last time she appeared in a match on this very field, assisted on the only goal for the Red Storm. That was against Seton Hall a week ago. Assisting on Maya Cabrera's goal. 27th minute of action. St. John's 1, Marquette nothing. Here in the first half, match number 4 of 9 in the Big East regular season for women's soccer. Massaros. Now Kajan. Nice move past Lacey. Sends it across back post. Looking for a head. Can't find one. And it can be cleared away. Marquette dropping all their numbers back to defend that play. They put 7 in the area against just 4 attacking St. John's players. And this one will be sent well wide of cage. And Marquette can restart with possession. Wysong firing well wide. It's a possession-based style that Ian Stone is trying to build with his young team. And he has seen noticeable improvements just in the Big East season. This match 4. This one sent ahead looking for Garziano. And it's tapped all the way back on goal as the wind continues to whip here this evening in Queens. The crowd is active and aware of Maddie Henry wanted to continue. A little bit of a Bronx cheer a moment ago for the crowd. Right behind the Marquette cage. Student section. See coming into frame. And there's Alumni Day for the women's soccer program here at St. John's. Good number of alumni to my right up here in the press box and on the terrace. Taking in this game. A little bit above the field level here at Belson Stadium. Massaros. Campana. Stops. Controls. Lots of fresh legs on the field, including Massaros, who sends it ahead for Kajan. Bonnie Lacey is there, though. Stepping ahead. Finds Johnson. And is able to maintain control very nicely. Natalie Yass with some space, a through ball intended for Schock, and it is cleared away. The St. John's band on hand as always. Home matches here at Belson Stadium. Kajan, a nice step through move. She gets by Lacey, help coming to her right. Moving towards the top of the 18, Yeager there now, still moving. Flicks it just wide. Kajan was looking for a second. And she does have 5 career multi-goal games. Take another look here. Already past Lacey, moving in tough angle. Credit Yeager for playing that angle and giving Kajan not much of anything to shoot at. And it's sent wide. Shots now 3-2 in favor of Marquette. The one shot that has found the back of the net came just 6 minutes in from Johnny Kajan. Both teams have gotten to their benches, and Coach Marcus Roders thinking that his bench may play a large role in this game. He's already gotten 5 players involved who did not start. Cross in is blocked and deflected out of play by Granada. Be a long throw for the Golden Eagles in the far corner. This is Campana dropping off some space to shoot at, and just wide. The Golden Eagles inches away from tying the score on a great feed from Campana, and appeared to be working with Macy Schock. Campana just dropped it off, and the Golden Eagles are buzzing. This one deflected, not much pace, and Reinhart again correct. Let's take another look here. Dropped off, some space, and Aaron Johnston sending that one on goal, I beg your pardon. Golden Eagles, since surrendering that first goal in the last 20 minutes or so, have had the stronger chances. Seeing that strength on ball that we talked about as one of our keys tonight. Does not appear that the wind has really played much of a factor to this point, and we should avoid the rain that was forecasted to blanket the day here in New York yesterday, but not the case. Massaros intended for her as it knocked away by Kelderman. Coming up for a long throw is Isabel Aviza, one of 3 Johnnies to start every game so far this season. And the Red Storm will also make a substitution at the next opportunity. This one deflected and lands in the student section behind Cage. Here comes that Red Storm substitution. Samantha Mazer will grab a seat. And Grace Bernardi checks into the game for the 8th time this season. Massapequa, New York native, and Massapequa High School, the freshman. Perhaps getting in a relatively clean game, despite what's been the identity for quite some time. And as I say that, of course, a foul in the middle third. Lacey takes it out of the hands of Kajan, little gamesmanship. Long distance set piece. We'll get to the top of the 18. Too far for Garziano. Pass intended for Campana, who had the nice feed just a moment ago for Aaron Johnston, the best chance for Marquette. Got a couple of good chances. 4 shots, and 3 of them have had a good opportunity at finding the back of the net. For Massaros, who leaves it ahead. Lacey takes. It's back for McBeath. Here is Aviza. Back to McBeath. Garziano. Aviza sending it ahead for Kajan. Onside play. Can she track it down? Not quite. Resulting in a goal kick for Maddie Henry, who, other than the first goal of this match in the 6th minute, it's been pretty quiet. Aviza there, the freshman who did score a goal against Yale earlier this season. A little bit of play after the whistle. And we're set to resume. And McBeath will take this free kick just in front of midfield. Going into the wind. Controlled by Kajan. Putting on the moves. Still controlling. Gives off, looking for the reception, finds it, and she'll put it into the back of the net. Johnny Cajano, that was pretty. The give, the go, the goal, and St. John's takes a 2-0 lead here late in the first half. Kajan has her second of the night. Johnny Kajan, 19 career goals. Now let's take another look. Kajan giving it off. Garziano back to her, and boom, right back to Kajan. Easy finish past the keeper. And the Red Storm have come to play here at home at Belson Stadium. How many times have they worked on that give and that go and that goal? 2-0 St. John's. Second tonight, 6th on the season, 19 on the career for the redshirt junior from Budapest, Hungary. This one sent in long distance. St. John's has had 2 very good chances. This one sent in and off the pipe. It stays in play. Marquette trying to cut their deficit in half. Reinhart was there, so was the post. She's here again, and she will control. As if you were to look at this match on paper, which is all you can do before it actually starts, you might say it would be hard to find 1 goal in 90 minutes. We have 2 in the first half and many other chances that could have been tallies. So it's Johnny Kajan with a pair of first half markers, and the Red Storm have a commanding lead here at home on Alumni Day. And a big 3 points on the line that it doesn't need to be stated are important for both of these squads. But again, still plenty of action left to go. 38th minute only. Bonnie Lacey. Kelderman. And Kelderman gets it back. Strong touch. And can't get through. McCracken holds her off nicely. Madeline McCracken. Out of Lynch Station, Virginia, back on it. Has her pass intended for Garziano taken away. Wind really starting to gust now. Natalie Yass, top of the 18. Some space here for Johnson, who goes down. This is Kajan already with 2. Massaros, headed by Kelderman. Dropped off, coming off the back line is Granada. Again, returning from a concussion, missed the last 3. This one sent in, looking for Garziano, and it is directed away, but right back to Kajan, who flicks for Garziano, who is shielded off very nicely by Yeager and legally, allowing Maddie Henry to get to the loose ball. 39th minute here in the first half. Drew Casey here with you on the Big East Digital Network, and we thank you for spending part of your Thursday with us. One game has already gone final in the Big East today. It was an afternoon game down in our nation's capital. Georgetown defeating Xavier 2-1. Other matches tonight, everyone is in action. Villanova on the road at Seton Hall, DePaul at Providence, and Butler at Creighton. So in just a few hours, everyone will have played 4 matches, essentially half of the conference season of 9. Sprecher was looking for Campana. It's cleared for Kelderman. Now Yass moves to her right, and the passing lane is stepped into by the Red Storm defensively, and it's sent ahead. Kajan looking to get by Lacey. Couldn't maintain or steal possession. Kajan in the 6th minute from Madden and Hornsey. Kajan again in the 36th from Garziano. One nicely knocked down by the Red Storm defensively. Avisa there, who had that aerial stop, and she's back on it here. Inside of 5 minutes, first half, until the break. First 5 minutes, final 5 minutes. Staple of the program, really at all levels for any team. Certainly do not want to concede a goal. If you're able to get one, certainly means momentum. Maura Weaver checks on for the Golden Eagles, as does Burrier to reserves. And Devin Schiller returns to the field after she missed the last 2 games, sustained an ankle injury in the lead up to the Seton Hall game, a late scratch from that starting lineup. Has missed the last 2. She's back in for a few minutes here. McBeath will take this free kick. And Marquette appears that they'd like to get a couple of more substitutes in at the next opportunity. So you see straight down the line near the scorer's table. McBeath, though, takes the free kick first for Garziano. This one sent out. Massaros was on ball. Avisa looking for Massaros, and the Red Storm will win another throw. Already 2-0. Here in the 43rd minute. Kajan. Looking on a touch for Wysong. Called her name much since she came on as a reserve. And it will be a goal kick for Marquette. They'll get a couple of more subs in. Mary-Kate Simon checks on, as does Elena Eckert. Eckert appearing in her 10th game. The junior from Warren, Michigan, and Marion High School. And Mary-Kate Simon. Massaros. Garziano with some space momentarily. Nice move to find the space. Turns, fires, and it's deflected away for a corner. St. John's has had 3 really, really good chances. 2 of them have been goals. The third has just set up this corner. Let's take another look here. Garziano stops. Whoop! Fires the shot just wide. That would have been quite the highlight. Kajan's corner. Battling the wind on these set pieces tonight. And not much doing there. Inside of the final 90 seconds of the opening half. Johnston. Looking for Massaros on the run. She's not going to be able to get there. Final minute of the first half. Simon will take the throw. Marquette would love to cut the deficit in half here. And a little miscommunication. Simon was going on the run down the near sideline. And the communication thought that she would stay back. Inside of a minute. A pair of goals from Johnny Kajan. And the Red Storm here in the first half at home on this blustery Thursday night in New York City. Perhaps one last rush for the Golden Eagles. 15 seconds. Reed on the first half clock, and now some space for Garziano. 10 seconds to go. Kajan, a through ball. This will be an onside play if she can get to it. She cannot. Burrier chips away, and that will do it for the first half of play here this evening in Queens, and a dominant effort for the home team. The Red Storm continuing to play well here at Belson Stadium. 4-2 so far, and they hold a 2-0 advantage. They now outscore their opponents 9-4 here at home. We're at the half. Johnny Kajan with a pair of goals. It's 2-0 St. John's. We learn more about the education, the Vincentian education here at St. John's, coming up here at the half. St. John's leads 2-0.
What does it mean for you, for me, for all of us, of the deeper meaning behind the work that we'll do in the community today?
Someone who has a college education will have a better life.
There's a lot that happens in those 4 years as they grow and discover what they want to do with their lives.
A Vincentian education builds students academically, socially, spiritually.
It is an experience that makes you a new form of you that you've never seen before.
It becoming my whole life and it becoming such a huge part of who I am.
You're able to grow into a person that I didn't know I could without that service.
It will help to remind us what's important and how we are committed to serving our community.
Having a Vincentian education has changed my entire worldview.
It gives them a solid foundation for a good life.
St. John's University and Niagara University, they're Vincentian schools. They're schools that offer opportunity.
And a higher education gives you all the tools you need to really grow and prepare you for life.
It's based in Catholic teaching and based on the work of St. Vincent de Paul. And it's really a call to action and service.
Service for the Vincentians is not a project. It's a way of life, and we integrate it into who they are.
It's a different type of knowledge than actually knowing the lived experience of people who are poor.
People are human and deserve that connection. And that's where the Vincentian charism goes beyond.
It's like you wear certain glasses and you see the world through Vincentian eyes. There's a whole different value system.
Love, respect, service, excellence, and truth.
We want that Vincentian spirit in all of our students.
We know that there's a lot of problems in society today, and many of you will be that sign of hope.
We have a responsibility to take that Vincentian mission and go out and make a difference in the lives of the poor.
All universities do community service, but we do it from the lens of a faith-based community.
And we have a need and a desire to serve people who are marginalized, who are poor.
And that could just be having the students volunteer at different places as part of their class.
Students start to begin challenging their assumptions about how they could serve as a vehicle for positive social change.
It's efficient and effective.
It's very empowering for these students.
The fact that we had to go back and reflect on what we did was something that really resonated with me.
I started to take a step back from just giving out a sandwich and asking myself, why are these people in this situation?
It's developing our students to look more at the economy as a system of humans, a level much deeper than just looking at the statistics.
It's not about just being charitable, it's about a justice.
Charity is a handout, justice is a hand up.
And by the time they graduate, it's so much a part of their foundation and fabric.
It's amazing to see yourself change in such a short amount of time when you incorporate what you do at service into your everyday life.
They're going to use their life to positively impact the lives of others.
The things that we do for others, that's what sets us apart.
And it opened my eyes to the fact that everyone has something to offer, and you just have to be able to be that person that opens that up in other people.
Halftime here in Jamaica, Queens. St. John's with a 2-0 lead over Marquette. Johnny Kajan's 5th in the 6th minute, and Johnny Kajan's 6th in the 36th minute has the Red Storm leading by a score of 2-0. Between the pipes for the Red Storm, Meredith Reinhart has been good to this point. Her 3rd consecutive start in Big East Conference play, and that garnered a Big East Weekly Honor Roll nod a week ago. Meredith Reinhart, as we take a look around the league, Reinhart over the course of last week, 12 saves and 1-1, and really was just inserted into that lineup on a bit of a need for experience in between the pipes, and it's worked so far. with this very, very young team. A couple of Georgetown Hoyas who have really dominated so far in Big East play. They're 4-0 after a win earlier today. Let's take a look at the highlights from the game that we are currently with. 45 minutes in the books. It started early, and Marquette had a bit of a chance there. We see the shot on goal from Maddie Monticello with an opportunity to take the first goal of the game. And, well, St. John's, they would get a couple. Let's take a look here. Alex Madden trying to get inside, and she could not. Nicely defended by the Golden Eagles and Maddie Henry there. Nice first half for Alex Madden. Did pick up an assist on the first goal. Wetherell had that one taken away, and here is Kajan moving in, and just sends it wide, and she already had one goal in the contest at this point. Taking another look, here is Kajan moving in. This one sent in, and there is one of the goals. The first goal of the game coming there from Johnny Kajan. That was coming earlier in the first half in the 6th minute. Kajan moving in here. Here comes the second goal, back to back. Give, go, goal. And St. John's had a 2-0 lead. Another angle on this second tally for Kajan. 19th time that she's scored for the St. John's Red Storm. Whoop, fakes left, gets it back, fends off the defender Bonnie Lacey, and buries it just in front of the St. John's student section here tonight. 2-0 St. John's. Halftime entertainment from the St. John's dance team. As we take a look at the first half stats, shots actually in favor of Marquette, 5-4. 2 saves for the St. John's keeper, Meredith Reinhart. Maddie Henry, no saves. 2 of them have gone past into the net. Just 1 corner kick, and that went to St. John's, and 7 fouls committed by St. John's, just 5 for Marquette. That's our halftime score, 2-0 in favor of St. John's, and plenty to cheer about, plenty to dance about if you're a fan of the Red Storm. Take a timeout. More halftime coverage after this on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You're not going to want to miss this.
Two 2-0 in favor of St. John's over Marquette. We're at halftime on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. It's the 5th career multi-goal game already for Johnny Kajan, and many in attendance who've played with Kajan in the past, including some of her soccer alumni. Got some bucket hat gang going on for the alums. St. John's women's soccer. They're into it. Their team has a 2-0 lead at the break. They'll stick around and enjoy the second half. They hope it's a home win for the Red Storm. Already all four of their wins are at home this season. The big group shot with a couple, how many bucket hats? 2, 3, 4 bucket hats all there for the Red Storm. Alumni night. And again, they've enjoyed what they've seen so far tonight. Red Storm 2, Marquette nothing. We're at halftime here at Belson Stadium in Queens. The second half is fast approaching. We'll have that for you after this on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You're not going to want to miss this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
You're not going to want to miss this.
Time for the second half here in Queens between St. John's and Marquette. And the Red Storm and the home whites have a 2-0 lead on 2 first-half goals from Jani Kajan, the 5th time that she's tallied more than 1 goal in a game throughout her career. The redshirt junior from Budapest, Hungary, now has 19 career goals. She and the rest of her St. John's teammates break the huddle, and we are just about set to go here in the second half. Marquette will start with it. They'll go right to left. The end where the first and only 2 goals of the game have been scored. Wind a little bit of a factor. Didn't seem to play very much. Gusts of about 30 miles per hour here tonight in Jamaica, Queens. Marquette looking for a quick tally to cut the deficit in half. If you look at the shots numbers, Marquette did outshoot St. John's by a mark of 5-4. Red Storm on it quickly. This is Madden. She's put the gloves on for the second half. It's the second straight game she's done that. Has gotten a bit colder. See her playing with it here, looking to get inside, and it's knocked away. Temperatures earlier today in the 70s, and now currently in the high 50s. Marquette in the visiting blue base with the yellow trim and yellow down the side. And St. John's in the home whites with the red numerals and trim, if you're just joining us. Player down behind the play for the Red Storm, and they will play on advantage. It was Madden who was slow to get up behind the play, and now she does get up. And protesting her case that the on-field referee may have missed a call. Won't win that one. And Marquette will take the throw just in front of their own bench, and head coach Marcus Roders in his 24th season at Marquette, 322 wins, including 97 in the conference, the Big East Conference. 47th minute action, just a couple of minutes into the second half of play between St. John's and Marquette. 3 critical points on the line. The Red Storm coming in with 3 points in the league at 1-2, currently in 8th. but a logjam of teams separated by only 3 points from 2nd to 8th. Big time 3 points for St. John's. If they can hold the result, they'll jump up. The goal for this Red Storm team, first and foremost, is to qualify for the Big East Conference Championship. The top 6 make the conference postseason tournament. Seeds 1 and 2 get byes. 3 hosts 6, 4 hosts 5. Before the semis and finals take place. Of course, the winner to the NCAA tournament. A through ball here for Marquette, but right on top is Granada, who can clear. Marquette buzzed a bit after the first St. John's goal for about a 15-minute period in the middle of the first half. But then the Red Storm picked up their second in the 36th minute. Madden looks just A-OK, gets by one defender. Still moving forward and was looking for Kajan, and Kajan had peeled off. She had thought Madden had the lane herself. And it's kept in play live by Henry, who did not make a save in the first half, but was pretty solid. The 2 goals that Kajan scored, not much she could do on either. Certainly not just about the number of saves, the positioning, the crosses, the pointing out the defense. Advantage here for the Red Storm. Garziano for Kajan. Back for Mazer on the loose ball, and she'll chip ahead with no runner. And Henry can keep. Mazer, one of the 3 St. John's captains. You see that orange-ish armband that was on her right arm. Here's Granada. Back after missing the last 3 with a concussion. And has appeared unfazed. She played 41 of 45 first half minutes. The Red Storm using 16 players in the first half. Marquette using 19, 8 different players off the bench getting in for the Golden Eagles. Johnson on ball, looking to get through, sends in a cross, nobody home. McCracken. 5 minutes into this second half. Knocked away and controlled by Kelderman. In the direction of Burrier, who saw a couple of minutes towards the end of the first half, and she's on to start the second. Campana has it knocked away by McBeath. No corner. There was only 1 corner in the first 45 minutes of action. A long throw here for Emily Hess. She'll drop it back for Rachel Johnson. Nice move to get by Hornsey momentarily. Sends in a low cross, and it's quickly cleared out and out of bounds by Moore. Do it again. Whistle, and on that clearance, it got a piece of the hand of Campana. So a free kick, or that's what it appeared to be. I'll just say it was deflected. With throw in. This one kept in play by Wetherell. Moving around. Here is Katrina taken down. Big time play. They'll stop the clock, and we might have our first booking. And we do. Big time tackle by Sierra Granada. A yellow card for Granada as she took down Wetherell. Take another look here. Granada moving in, and Granada actually took the brunt of that, but the ball was ahead of that tackle taking place, and some time to avoid it, so they'll give the yellow card. A free kick in a dangerous area for the Golden Eagles. A wall of 2. Madden make it 3. Granada joins, gets towards the back post, and Reinhart tries to punch. And she was able to. Great ball by the player who was fouled, Wetherell. And Marquette will now get its first corner. And Emily Hess will take this one. Far side, Reinhart giving out instructions. A bevy of players lining up towards that back post area. Hess is ready. Left foot in swinging towards the near post. And it's knocked away. Last touched by St. John's. Will do it again. Second corner for the Golden Eagles. Hess again. A little more loft on this one. Top of the 6. Up for grabs. Aerial ball loose in front, and Reinhart makes the stop. Wasn't hit with much pace, but Reinhart still had to make her best save of the night. Her third. Maintains the clean sheet for the Red Storm, but the Golden Eagles again buzzing here, and still plenty of time to play here in Queens. Hornsey controls, tries to get through, and does. Can only be momentarily. Wetherell back. Yeager. Little tic-tac-toe and just too far for Wetherell. And Granada, who is now playing with a yellow, takes the throw. The only player who has been booked tonight. Kajan reversing the ball far side. Bounces through the legs of Madden. Maintains control. Tried to get it back to Mazer, but it was taken by Johnson. Back on goal. Moore deflects it away dangerously. Nearly found the foot of Campana and would have had a pretty clean look at goal. Marquette has controlled it here in the second half. It was 2-0 at the break in favor of the Red Storm. Campana sends this one in, and it will get all the way to Reinhart. And she can control. Granada. Head for Hornsey. They'll play pitch and catch. But this second half has been in the attacking third largely for Marquette. Both teams continue Big East play. As a little bit of hand fighting and push down is Emily Hess. Hornsey called for the foul. Both players battling for position. Rachel Johnson will take this free kick. Kajan and Madden have both dropped back again to set up the two-player wall. It gets through to the far side for Campana. Kelderman. Headed out at the 6 by McBeath. And nearly out of the attacking third, and now done so off the head of Samantha Mazer. Alex Madden taken down. And trying to be helped up, at least it appears. Right, Natalie Yass went a little dead fish with the handshake there. Little gamesmanship, nothing wrong with that. 56th minute of action. St. John's 2, Marquette nothing. Dangerous play there. Wetherell was in the area. Garziano, right foot ahead. Good ball for Hornsey. Tracked down by Emily Hess. It'll be a St. John's throw. Hornsey going all the way down to the corner flag. Looks like the ball may have nearly trickled out of the stadium. She's able to find it. And Granada will come up to take the throw. Toss is in. First substitution of the second half. Devin Schiller comes on. Schiller plays Sierra Granada. Both players coming back from injury. But Granada now also playing with a yellow card, so she will head to the bench. Granada missed the last 3 with a concussion. Schiller missed the last 2 with an ankle. Long range, this one sailing just over the bar. Kajan was looking for the Hattie. 5 career multi-goal games. The 2 tallies coming in the first half here tonight. We play in the 58th minute here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Drew Casey with you. KJ Hammond, our great crew, in the truck on this blustery Thursday. And we thank you for being with us. McBeath drops it back for Reinhart. And now Moore, Shannon Moore. Carziano. Lightfoot sends this one looking in the direction of Madden. Controlled by McCracken in the mid. Now Madden. Looking to get past Kelderman. Who has dropped back defensively here. Working towards the corner flag. Kylie Sprecher dropping back as well. And it will be one for a long throw for Marquette. Johnson and Kelderman. Finds Campana, flicks ahead, looking for Wetherell, who's been pretty quiet. Yes. Wetherell. Formation making a nice run for the Golden Eagles. Nice on-ball play by Wetherell, sends this one in, and Reinhart can control on one hop. Hornsey run into by Hess. It'll result in a foul call. It's been called tightly. Marquette and St. John's both have attempted to use their physical play a little bit at times. Nearly a third complete with this second half of action. A touch foul called. Bombasino stepping in the way of Kajan. And a free kick coming for McCracken, as well as a substitution for St. John's at the next opportunity. McCracken waiting, and now it will be given up for McBeath to take. Marquette able to send this ahead for Campana. Moore drops off. Tight quarters along the near sideline. Developing here for the Golden Eagles, finding space, sending on goal, and into the back of the net. Marquette has cut the deficit in half. The Golden Eagles make it 2-1. It looked like Alex Campana was able to find the back of the net. It was Campana, her second goal of the season, second of her career for the freshman from Natick, Massachusetts. Let's take another look. Tight space. Campana nearly lost it, got it back, and sent it in. Campana approaching with her right, knocked it off the defender, got it back on her left, and maintained possession. And it's a 2-1 game. Marquette continuing with the top chances. And they bury one here, and we've got ourselves a one-goal game, and the momentum and energy shifts to the visiting Golden Eagles. Second goal of the season for Campana coming here in the 61st minute, and a foul call. This one will go the way of St. John's. Currently marked as unassisted. We talked about it in the open. The first half has been very difficult for the Golden Eagles. St. John's scored 2. On the other side of things, St. John's has really struggled in the second half, and Marquette already has a goal in the second. So all that playing according to script. St. John's has now been outscored 12-2 in the second half of games. Marquette has now been outscored 10-1 in the first half of games. Madden a little bit slow to get up, and she will push herself up. As Marquette now feels it's within their reach, continuing their style, and looking now for the equalizing goal with 27 and change left to play. Kajan, she already has 2 goals tonight. Here's Madden. Crosses in, it's behind Garziano, who ran into a defender in Yeager as she tried to stop and adjust back. This one can't be played by Madden. It is held in, though, at the midfield line by Avisa. Shots now 7-4 in favor of Marquette. Couple of subs right over near the midfield line, ready to come on in. Here they do come. Looks like Money and Granada are back on. Garziano checks out, as does Schiller. Granada back on, playing with the yellows. A quick spell as Schiller, a couple more minutes coming back from injury. And Granada takes her place on the back line. Yass here finds Bombacino. Drops it off far side, Hess. Now further ahead, and Weatherell. One final substitution as Massaros will come on for Madden. A couple of Marquette substitutions as well here. Monticello and Abby Hess check on. 64th minute action. St. John's and Marquette had ourselves a very competitive match. We thought it would be filled with defense. It's been just the opposite. 2-1 our score in favor of the Red Storm. 2 Johnny Kajan goals in the first half of play, and then an Alex Campana goal just a moment ago here in the second. Campana not starting this one. Coach Marcus Roders saying prior to the game he thought his bench would have to play a big role, and it has their only goal so far. Mazer sends this one ahead looking for Kajan, but it's stopped and controlled, and much of the possession here in the second half has been controlled by the Golden Eagles. A run for Bombacino with a little bit of space. Hess, Abby Hess, has it tackled away by Granada. And Emily Hess will take the throw. No relation. Hess to Hess. Back to Emily. And on defender. And it will result in a goal kick. Emily Hess tried to steal a corner, which would have been the third for the Golden Eagles so far tonight. McBeath thought about the long clearance. Gives far side of Visa. Kelderman steps into the lane. She makes a run, has help to her left. Knocked away though by Avisa, tracking back. Johnson. Monticello for Emily Hess. Moving to her left is Hess, defended by Wysong, who comes up a little bit slow. Just a misstep for Wysong, still involving herself in the play and flexing that back of the right leg a little bit. Just there in front of Emily Hess, who's going to take the throw. See her walking it out now, stretching it out. And there's a substitute now at the table for St. John's at the next opportunity. And Wysong still continuing to stretch out that leg. Field opposite the play at the moment. McCracken on it. Has it taken away. Bombasino. Now Campana, the goal scorer. Moving to her right, stops. Double and almost triple teamed into the box, sent in, it's loose, and it can be cleared, but only as far as the edge of the middle third for Mazzaros. St. John's on their heels a bit here, but still holding a 2-1 lead here in the second half. Money had it taken away, a throw, and Marquette wants to go. Kelderman. Kajan not letting them go. Abby Hess take the throw. Beat steps in but is wedged off by Bombasino. Marquette stepping through, looking for a head, finds a head, it goes just high over the bar. Wetherell couldn't connect on target, but Marquette continuing to send the ball towards box. Kajan will take a seat, and Maya Cabrera will check on for the first time, the goal scorer against Seton Hall a week ago in what was a 1-0 decision for the Red Storm. Little fresh legs up front. But don't worry, I bet we'll see Kajan again very soon. Schock and Johnston come on for the Golden Eagles as well, as we play here in the 65th, make it 69th minute. Johnston trying to get by Granada. Last touched by Marquette. So a St. John's throw. Schiller comes on for St. John's, replacing Mazzaros. More defense, perhaps, for the Red Storm with that substitution as we approach 20 minutes to play. And Marquette continuing to put the pressure on. Wetherell here. Moving outside for the corner flag. Schock, fresh leg, she'll get to it. And all she can do is tap out, but she does so to win a corner kick. Schock with hands extended, but it appeared that Schock just took it and pushed it out over the end line. If she were to let it go, may have had that corner. 8 shots to 4 in favor of Marquette, 2 goals to 1 in favor of St. John's in this match number 4 of Big East Conference play for both teams. A critical 3 points perhaps on the line with a victory from either team in this one. Kelderman looking to get by McBeath. She does, but McBeath closes quickly, does not make contact with the ball, and it will be a goal kick. McBeath, the senior from Williamsburg, Virginia. Again, you see that captain's band. One of 3 senior captains on this Red Storm team, McBeath, Mazer, and McCracken. Reinhart will take her time here. And now restart play in the 72nd minute. 2-1 St. John's, 2 first half goals from Jani Kajan. Before a second half goal from Alex Campana got the Marquette Golden Eagles on the board. Goal coming in the 61st minute on what has been a very windy and blustery night here in Queens. Cabrera nearly on ball there, but it's taken by Johnson and dropped back for Yeager. Ahead, Yeager looking for Hess. Knocked away. Granada sends ahead. Helped by Mazer. Back to Yeager. Chipped ahead for Johnston. Controls, but can't get it past Moore. Now Schock. Top of the 18, sending in, was looking for Abby Hess, but the back turn. Now some space here. Long distance shot towards the upper left portion of the goal. Just high, though, from Katrina Wetherell, who had the equalizing goal back on Sunday for Marquette against Creighton. That was a 1-1 score. Marquette looking to make this a 2-2 game. Take another look, just over the bar. Lots of pace on that shot from the sophomore from Peoria, Arizona. This one sent out, nearly into the stands. As Marquette continues to possess, it's been a very, very quiet second half for Maddie Henry in the Marquette cage. Rachel Johnson moving towards the far end line and will result in a corner kick, the 3rd corner kick of the night coming up for the Golden Eagles. They might go short and quick, they do. Johnson moving in, sends in a shot towards goal. Not sure everyone was ready, even on the Marquette side of things. The urgency is there. Johnson, cross in. Reinhart is there and controls and secures. And she'll allow everyone to clear the area. Meredith Reinhart, the transfer from Arizona out of the Pac-12, and the native of Scottsdale, Arizona. 2-1 on the season for St. John's, 10-8-1 in her Red Storm career. Substitutions coming on for Marquette as we approach the final 15. Mary Kate Simon, Alyssa Bombasino. Kelderman checks out. There is Simon, the redshirt junior out of Homestead High School. Played 54 minutes on Sunday in a reserve role. And looking to aid her team in finding the equalizing goal here tonight. Granada looking for the head of Cabrera. Controlled down by Money. To get it to Wysong. And a Marquette throw. Johnston hands off for Emily Hess to Abby Hess. Taken away by Granada. Out of the reach of Cabrera. Burrier sends it ahead, but it's McBeath for the Red Storm. Now McCracken. Wysong looking for Cabrera. Fresh legs off the bench. Johnny Kajan getting a breather, who has both goals for St. John's tonight. Here is Emily Hess looking again for Abby Hess. Long run with Shannon Moore, and it will be a St. John's throw. Cabrera for money. Marquette sending most of their numbers forward, so St. John's doing the same, sending most back. 2-1 St. John's. Clinging to that lead, Marquette has controlled the play here in the second half, so much so that St. John's does not have a shot here in the second half. They had 4 shots at the break. They still have 4. 9-4 overall Marquette. 4-0 Marquette here in the second half, including what is their 1 goal, Alex Campana. Both teams continuing Big East Conference play coming up this weekend. Marquette stays on the East Coast. They'll play at Seton Hall, 12 noon on Sunday. That ball goes out and drills the scoreboard. St. John's, next game coming up Sunday on the road at Butler. 1 Eastern start in that game from Indianapolis. Ian Stone looking on. That's what his bunch has coming up next, starting with Butler here at home against Xavier, at Nova, and then versus Creighton the next 4. And we will have 5 more regularly scheduled contests after tonight. Dropped off for Yeager. First touch for Maddie Henry in the blue Marquette goalkeeping uniform in quite some time. So we play in the 79th minute. Yeager steps into the passing lane and gets through, but can't get past Granada, who sends it out. Emily Hess waiting to toss in. Marquette sending a couple of substitutions to the table. Wysong dropping back McBeath. Looks like Campana and Wetherell will come right back in after a quick respite here. Wait to the next opportunity to do so. Simon has it knocked away. Look out in the Marquette bench. And this stoppage will allow Marquette to get those substitutions in. Campana, Wetherell, and Yass all come on. Ambrosio also checks on to the game, replacing Maya Cabrera, as we're inside 10 minutes to play. Kylie Sprecher looking to check in at the next opportunity for Marquette. This one knocked out, and will allow for the next substitution for the Golden Eagles. Fresh legs, offensive legs. Sprecher with 5 career goals checks back on. She'll replace Macy Schock. 81st minute action. Clock rolls, 9.5 to play. Back to it, and Emily Hess. Campana, the goal scorer, drops back for Burrier. The numbers will start to come forward in larger than usual for the Golden Eagles, you would have to think. Simon has it knocked away. And drops it back for Yass. Fresh legs. Shot is blocked by Mazer. This one sent in across. Moore controls and will clear. Stepping into it is Burrier and getting ahead. And she will draw a foul call and a free kick coming for the Golden Eagles that they'll take from about 35 yards out. Should be able to get this one towards the top of the 18 or perhaps farther. It'll be Wetherell to take the free kick. Everybody has dropped back for St. John's. This one sent in towards the top of the 6. It's loose. Caught Marquette first. This one sent in and into the back of the net. Equalizing score for Marquette. The Golden Eagles have tied this one at 2. It was loose. You sensed that the Golden Eagles had the momentum, and they bury it. Kylie Sprecher just off the bench, and she finishes. 2-2 in the 82nd minute of action. We take another look. The service from Wetherell, and it's loose, and then it's buried by Sprecher into the back of the net. And suddenly, it's 2-2, and Marquette is in control. All the momentum on the side of the Golden Eagles. Maddie Henry, she's been very quiet. She just wanted that one back in play. There's the goal scorer, Sprecher. Her first goal tonight. Second of the season, 6th of her career. And a big-time goal there. She had her other goal in a big-time spot earlier this year, back on September the 1st, against Michigan in double overtime for the winner. Marquette, despite just 3 wins, they do have 2 wins over Big Ten teams this season. They've beaten Minnesota and Michigan. Johnny Kajan is back on to the field for St. John's, and she'll replace Sophia Ambrosio with less than 7 minutes to play here in the 84th minute. Here is Kajan, fresh leg, sends in a flick, and looking for a connection. It's still loose in front, and making that run towards the back post was Mazer, but it was deflected out of her reach by just a step. So again, it's held up our keys to the game. It's been first half woes for Marquette. They surrendered 2 in the first. It's been second half woes for St. John's. They've surrendered 2 goals in the second half. Approach the final 5 minutes of action, where if another goal is scored in regulation, you have to like your chances at winning this in 90. Wetherell sends this one in, top of the 18. It gets loose for Johnson. Kajan controls, has some space, but also 3 Marquette defenders. Has to sidestep, finds Schiller. This one sent ahead, Money on ball, but has it controlled by Johnson. Wetherell on it. Back to Wetherell. Taken by Avisa. St. John's throw just in front of their own bench in a game that has been tied. 2-0. It was all St. John's in the first half, Johnny Kajan, but in the second half, Marquette has answered. Alex Campana unassisted in the 61st minute, and Kylie Sprecher unassisted on a loose ball in the center of the box off a long set piece. She scores in the 82nd minute. Final 5 minutes here tonight in Queens. Sprecher had it just taken away off her foot. Now here is Granada chasing down, and she can only send that one into the crowd just below us. And it will be a throw-in. And Marquette is pushing the pace. All of the momentum on the side of the Golden Eagles at this point. Continuing to put it on. Wetherell taken down. No foul call, top of the 18. It's still loose. And coming out is Reinhart. Nearly everyone stopped for a second. And no call coming from our head referee here tonight. Less than 4 minutes to play in regulation time in a 2-2 game. Wysong sends this one ahead for Mazer. Now Kajan looking for space, finding space, left-footed shot. It's right on goal. Maddie Henry comes up big with what will be save number 1 in the 87th minute. Although she surrendered 2 to Kajan earlier, positionally sound, and keeps this at 2-2. Every moment pressure filled the rest of the way, as we're near essentially at the point of golden goal. Next goal wins. Kajan's chance again moves to her left through 2, and nothing much to shoot at except the chest of the keeper, and Henry is able to control it in front, the all-time saves leader in the history of Marquette women's soccer. We've gotten ourselves quite the show tonight. This one sent in Granada, able to head but only out of the 18, and perhaps a corner, and it will be a corner kick coming for Marquette. It'll be their 4th. In a 2-2 game here in the 88th minute with 2 and change remaining, Emily Hess will race over to take it. Marquette puts 8 in the box. St. John's puts all 10, plus the keeper Reinhart, of course. Hess is ready. Left-footed low, sent in. And this one is cleared out by Granada into the St. John's bench area. Less than 2 minutes to play in regulation time. Controlled momentarily by Sprecher. Gives it off, back to Hess. This is Money. Moore sends it ahead. She'll have to drop back, trying to fight off Hess, and does so. Shani Kajan on ball, moving towards the center of the field, reverses, stops and sends ahead. So we approach 1 minute to play. Money with the takeaway. Drops it off for Mazer. Right foot ahead, looking for Wysong in front, and coming out is Maddi Henry, aggressive off the line. And 2 and a quick restart as we're inside the final minute of regulation time here tonight in Queens. Money flicks it ahead. Kajan in the area, controlled by Simon, and further along for Wetherell. She sends it all the way down to McBeath. Middle third for Mazer. 30 seconds to play in the second half. Wetherell dropping off for Johnson. Bombasino making a run inside 20 seconds of regulation to play. Overtime appears on the horizon with 10 seconds to play here in the second half. A free kick coming for St. John's, and that should just about do it. We're through 90 minutes. 2 goals for St. John's in the first half. 2 goals for Marquette in the second half. We're all tied, and that means golden goal overtime on the way. 2 10-minute periods if they're necessary, and if we remain tied after 1:10, that's how the game will end. Our first overtime coming up after we take a quick timeout. St. John's 2, Marquette 2 on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You're not going to want to miss this.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Overtime is underway between St. John's and Marquette after Marquette scored 2 goals in the second half after St. John's led 2-0 at the break on 2 Johnny Kajan goals. Campana and Sprecher scoring in the second half for Marquette. In overtime this season, St. John's is 1-3 in games decided +90. 0-1 in games that end in the first overtime period. Marquette in games that have gone 90+, 1-3-1, and also in games decided in the first 10-minute overtime, they're 0-1. It's golden goal, meaning if a goal is scored, the game ends and that team wins. Garziano here with a nice touch to her left. Top of the 18 looking for money. Hornsey up as well. Kajan is back in, came on after a brief break in the second half. Kajan in the 90 minutes played all of the first 90 and played 31 of 45 in the second half. This is Hornsey. It's slid and tackled away by the Golden Eagles. Both teams desperately in need of points to move up the Big East table. They'd love it to be 3. That would, of course, require a victory on either side. If this were to end in a 2-2 tie, 1 point for both teams. 93rd minute. First overtime period, 2-2 between St. John's and Marquette on a very windy night here in Queens. Johnson here. Loses her footing, and Money controls a second half that was controlled by the Marquette Golden Eagles. The shots were 5-2 in favor of Marquette, and they are 10-6 as we play here in overtime. No chances just yet. 2.5 minutes in to this first overtime period. Monticello ahead for Emily Hess. Campana knocked away and taken by Burrier. Madison Burrier ahead. Some space on the far side for the Golden Eagles, putting numbers in the box. 4 Golden Eagles in the box, only 3 Red Storm players back defensively, and Reinhart has to come off her line. They were a bit outnumbered. Rachel Johnson nearly put it away. This Marquette team will stay on the East Coast before Sunday's matchup with Seton Hall. So we take another look here. Reinhart off her line and gets to it. Marquette would love the next 2 days in the tri-state area in the Northeast. We felt with a win here tonight. Emily Hess gets by Garziano, sends a cross in, and she will win a corner. Got the step on Garziano, and all she could do was stay with her and block the cross. Marquette will have a corner, their 5th and 1st of overtime. Katrina Wetherell putting it down. Loose balls towards the top of the 6-yard box, given the Red Storm trouble tonight. Wetherell sends this one in towards the back post, and it drifts over the bar, and perhaps the wind playing a role there, and an innocent free kick goes the way of St. John's. Nearly halfway complete with the first overtime if we're still tied after the 5:24 on the clock currently. We'll do another 10-minute overtime session. Hornsey here. Taken away, and the possession is to be controlled by Marquette. Campana taking down. They play on, looking for Kajan here. Johnson has a step. Continues through. Cross, finding Campana. 1 goal already tonight, and it's taken away nicely and cleared by Avisa. Looking for Kajan. Defended closely by Burrier. Drops it back for Avisa. Now Hornsey. McCracken. 6 minutes into our first overtime period. Kajan sends this one ahead. Hornsey will make a run. And a foul is called at midfield. Appears they were going to allow advantage to play, but when Hornsey did not make a run, they granted the free kick to St. John's. Free kick for McBeath. She'll take it on the far side, right near the scorer's table at midfield. McBeath sends it in towards the top of the 18, and going into the wind, it appears, in this direction, which has picked up. Kajan for Hornsey. Looking for space. And has it taken away nicely by Emily Hess. Overtime after 2 St. John's goals from Johnny Kajan in the first half, 2 from Marquette in the second to tie up the score. Rachel Johnson on here working through a numerous number of St. John's players. And now it's Kajan. Has Money to her right, Hornsey to her left. Finds Hornsey. Hornsey for Money towards the top of the 18. Yeager there can clear. Haven't seen Alex Madden in quite some time for St. John's. Did appear come up a little limp late in the second half. Garziano, cross ahead for Kajan, some space. Kajan is through, she has possession. She's taken down in the box, no call, no call. An emphatic call from our head official on field saying no call. Kajan was through, the ball was not on her foot. Tough break for St. John's, and Marquette will take it. Try and get another look when we have an opportunity. As we're 8 minutes in to the first half. So we're going to take another look here. Here's the play. Kajan moving in. She has the right arm extended, and she is taken down from behind with no play of the ball. Tough break for the Red Storm. Kajan clear possession and taken down from behind by Burrier. In basketball, it would be as such kind of clearing out. They'll say the possession was not on ball for Kajan. Substitutions come on for Marquette, and Ian Stone and the St. John's bench not necessarily thrilled. The Marquette bench quiet. No call here either. It's called very tight in the first half. And they've played a bit here in the second, late in the second, and now into overtime inside of 1 minute here in the overtime period to play. In the 100th minute in a 2-2 game. If we're still tied after these 45 seconds, we'll play 10 more. Golden goal situation. Many thought a penalty should have been called a moment ago, and Johnny Kajan should have had an opportunity at the spot to win it. It was not. Here's Hornsey. 30 seconds to play here in the first overtime period. Controlled by McBeath. This one sent down all the way off the far end line, and it looks like we are headed to a second overtime period here tonight in Queens. And that we are. 100 minutes are in the books, and we are still tied 2-2. Our second overtime period comes your way in just a moment. We take a timeout, but first, Johnny Kajan, she is not happy. We've seen the replay. She'll probably see it later. And we'll take a quick timeout. They'll start this second overtime in just about 90 seconds from now. St. John's Marquette tied at 2 after one overtime. The second overtime is next here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
100 minutes in the books. We are tied at 2 between St. John's and Marquette. The final 10 minutes on the clock. Overtime period number 2. Golden goal, or in 10 minutes, we end in a tie here tonight in Jamaica, Queens. Marquette will start with possession. St. John's breaking the huddle. Johnny Kajan in the middle there. Thought she was taken down illegally in the box near the penalty spot. Replay would likely support her live. Tough to tell. And no call resulted. Marquette has it as we're underway in overtime period number 2. St. John's 1-2-0 in conference play. Marquette 0-2-1. To say these points are huge would be a large understatement. Both teams in desperate need of points. They'd love 3. Perhaps they're headed for 1. Again, the overtime records for both teams. St. John's is 1-3. Marquette is 1-3-1. Their lone tie the last time out against Creighton. This one sent in. There's some space here for the Golden Eagles. Back post, and the ball game is over. Macy Shock scores as the Golden Eagles shock the Red Storm. 3 unanswered. They win it in double overtime here on the road, and they start their East Coast swing with a bang. Marcus Roders and company, a big-time win at Belson Stadium. He mentioned pregame, this field has a funny way of making it all work out for the Golden Eagles, and it did right there. Macy Shock finding the back of the net, her 3rd goal of the season. The sophomore from Dublin, Ohio, gets it done. Marquette picks up their first conference win, and they are still enjoying it all Macy Shock, the hero, and the next few days will certainly be enjoyable for Marquette as they prepare for Seton Hall coming up on Sunday. They'll stay in the tri-state area. 3-2 Marquette a winner. We'll have a post-game interview from the winning team, the Marquette Golden Eagles. 3-2 Marquette over St. John's. We're back in just a moment after this on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You're not going to want to miss this. Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
St. John's University is New York, through and through. While our roots may be here in the city, our Catholic and Vincentian influence is felt around the globe. Diverse, determined, and dedicated, our students graduate career-ready and primed to take on the challenges of tomorrow. We are New York's team. We are St. John's. St. John's University is New York.
Squad, and I feel as happy as we are about the win. I feel bad for his team a little bit because they worked just as hard and they battled for it, and Macy with a game winner. I mean, that's fantastic. Really happy for her, and we're fortunate to walk away with the win tonight. We've had some great battles with St. John's over the years, and we'll chalk that up as another one of those.
And Coach, lastly, 3 points for your squad as a result of the win. And you talked before the game, and you mentioned that points are at a premium, and you guys needed some, and you got 3. How important is it to get those 3?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody in the league needs the points, and we were on the road today, and we needed 3 points tonight. So obviously happy about that, but it's a good result for us. We haven't had a game this year where we scored 3 goals, and we've had some losses in overtime. We've been close, so for us to walk away tonight, it's a great feeling.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Go enjoy it with your team.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So Marquette gets the win by a final of 3-2 after trailing by a score of 2-0 at halftime. You just heard from head coach Marcus Roders of the Marquette women's soccer program. First time they've scored 3 goals this season, and they get 3 points. A very big 3 points. That'll do it for our coverage here tonight from Jamaica, Queens. I'm sure you can hear quite the windy night, and it goes the way of the Golden Eagles, who stay on the East Coast. Final score, Marquette 3 and St. John's 2 in overtime. For our great crew, KJ Hammond and the rest of the crew in the truck, I'm Drew Casey saying so long from Queens, where once again the final score, 3-2 in favor of Marquette. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Good night, folks.